They're the team called in when an officer takes a life. A special unit in Kentucky State Police now investigating almost all lethal force cases in the Commonwealth.
But with police shootings on the rise, some lawmakers now question whether KSP can and should do that job. WDRB's Gilbert Corsi investigates the long wait for answers.
Stop! Stop!
The days after a fatal police shooting in Kentucky can often look similar.
We want to know! This ain't right! They are killing
Outcry,
us.
questions, and doubt follow the initial police statement.
The suspect became violent toward the officer. An altercation ensued that resulted in the officer discharging his firearm.
And the promise
Every piece of evidence should be considered
to thoroughly investigate.
They are taking a tremendous amount of time to review these cases. I don't believe it's being handled efficiently, prudently, certainly not timely.
At that point, that individual brandished a firearm and officers discharged their weapons.
Eventually, the story fades from the headlines, and the full details of that thorough investigation rarely come to light, leaving families
They don't even have basic questions answered.
in the dark,
It affects me because
wondering and worrying.
why wait so long? Like,
Months,
what is it that you're
sometimes years,
Get justice, I'll be okay.
about what happened to their loved one.
The coroner said he was in an altercation with a cop, and he's dead.
Christopher Staruski's family knows the pain all too well. According to Kentucky State Police, Elizabethtown officer Dietrich Cooper shot and killed the 28-year-old Radcliffe man in December of 2021 at the Lake Crest Apartments. The family says Staruski didn't live here, but he often slept in his car.
No. Reason I got out here, I saw the car running and there's no registration plate to the vehicle.
I was just about to leave. I had to go home. Get
Cooper was at the complex on an unrelated call, but grew suspicious of Staruski's license plate and stopped to question him.
What's your birthday?
I don't have one anymore, sir.
Come on, man. Really?
I am Samson El-Khabib Mudamir. That is my name.
Samson Al-Khabib. How do you spell
In the
that?
8 minutes of body cam footage we obtained, the unusual interaction grows more tense.
Oh, I'm not trying to cause no trouble, bro.
Just
But you
chill.
know, I'm
chill
so
out, man. You are blowing this way out of proportion.
Bro, you calling another unit?
Yes.
Why?
Because the way you're acting
Is out of control, lady.
yes.
After the officer radios for backup, Staruski tries to get in the car.
You playing with me, bro. Hey, bro, you playing. You can't touch me. Bro. You cannot touch me. You cannot touch me.
A short struggle. Police say the body cam fell off.
I'm just trying to sit down, D. It's been a long morning, Chloe. Please, D. It's been a long morning, D. Bro. D. Why are you doing this to me? D. Why are you doing this to me, dog?
Then,
Shot fire!
17 shots fired, and Staruski didn't have a gun. Police say he was hit 8 times.
Why did you make the decision to stop firing, or to start firing? Let's start there.
Based on the fact that he attempted to kill me, he took the knife and stabbed me basically in my chest twice, and to stop him from hurting anybody else, being that he's still armed with the same weapon that he tried to kill me with, and he was attempting to flee into the public, I had to make a decision to stop him at that time.
You can't believe it. It's like, there's no way. This is not real. It's not real. There's no, how can he be dead?
The family refutes the claim that Staruski stabbed the officer with the knife, despite the cuts in his uniform, saying this knife was found in the car under debris with no blood on the handle after the shooting.
I mean, he could have shot anything. He didn't have to shoot him.
They waited more than 300 days to receive the KSP Critical Incident Response Team report. That wait is common. We found 29 of 58 KSP lethal force investigations remain open. from the last 2 years.
Well, if we're honest, no public entities in Kentucky really have the capacity to do the work that they're being asked to do.
Louisville State Representative Attica Scott put forward legislation to create a statewide task force to investigate fatal police encounters, hoping to speed up the process and shore up transparency, as it would have community voices and experts from universities. The bill never got a hearing.
Well, you're asking police to investigate themselves. It needs an outside entity that's going to be more crucial, more critical, ask more questions, and actually come up with decisions that aren't always on the side of law enforcement.
A critical incident response team formed in 2017 to investigate officer-involved shootings, in-custody deaths, and fatal collisions involving officers, both internally for KSP and at the request of police departments throughout the state.
I think it's one of the best things we ever did while we were there.
Alex Payne was deputy commissioner, the second highest ranking official in state police at the time.
Creating things like accuracy, transparency, professionalism in one of the most critical incidents that a police officer and those other folks that would be involved in something like that would ever be in their lives.
Data shows a steady increase in these cases in recent years. The number of detectives also on the rise, from 6 when the unit formed to 15 today. Payne says the extended time it takes to complete these cases ties back to the detail put into the investigation.
Massive collection of factual data.
And analyzing it all may be the holdup.
We've got to wait on that evidence to be analyzed and then come back and see if that analytical response, how it fits into the case, into the facts that we're collecting. In the same time, you've got to work with a Commonwealth Attorney's Office, who, just like a lot of people, are short-staffed.
WDRB obtained the investigative file from the Staruski case. It contained thousands of pages of documents, hundreds of pictures, and several hours of witness interviews and body and dash cam footage.
I'm not trying to call, please.
Was less lethal ever an option, whether it be a taser, pepper spray, anything like that? Was that ever an option?
No, sir. They produced something that I felt he was attempting to kill me with.
Prosecutors presented the case to a grand jury. No charges. You don't trust the investigation. You don't trust institutions.
Never. Like, you really can't sit here and tell me your reason. Like, it's not gonna hold no weight, especially for me. Like, you emptied the clip, reloaded.
The family now asking federal investigators to re-examine this case. They've also filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Cooper.
You could never convince me that deadly force was to be used in this case.
With photographer Darius Bowie, Gilbert Corsi, WDRB News.
The current commissioner of KSP would not sit down with us for an on-camera interview for this report. He released a statement saying, "Every day the men and women in our agency work tirelessly to provide public safety for Kentuckians. As KSP's commissioner, I am committed to protecting the integrity of all investigations, interactions with the public, and our state officials as we conduct law enforcement in the right way."